Tonight on CTV, students march against anti-Semitism.
The impeachment of Josh Silva moves forward.
The food bank and ACSU team up in an event you won't want to miss. Hi and welcome to CTV. I'm Marlo Lundak.
And I'm Amelia, Casteneda, and welcome to CTV News.
By now we have all been informed about the tragic events that occurred in Las Vegas on Sunday night, where 64-year-old Stephen Paddock opened fire on a country music festival, killing around 60 people and injuring over 500 others. Paddock's weapons were obtained legally, which has stirred up a controversial conversation across the nation. I talked to students around campus to get some opinions on the event and what students feel is necessary regarding gun laws.
Get away from everything and just have a fun time. And I've never not felt safe in Vegas every time I've been. But we were sitting in the airport just waiting to leave, and we started hearing about it. We were on the airplane and taxiing to take off, and so we had, I think, one of the last planes to take off before they shut down the airport that night, and just kind of a surreal experience to now have that moment now be a part of the trip that we were on. And so that trip will now be synonymous with right now the largest modern massacre that we've had in the United States.
It's tragic. I wish I could do more, and it's heartbreaking.
I know there are a lot of shooting in America, but I know this time is kind of different. Yeah, I was shocked when I heard the numbers of people died. Yeah,
there should be no reason that Americans should be able to buy automatic weapons, semi-automatic weapons, because that's used for killing multiple people.
I don't necessarily agree that people should be able to easily obtain assault rifles, such as an M16, because why essentially would we need an assault rifle to carry? Chances are you're not going to want to hunt with an assault rifle.
I think the gun is a first, and it's a good and a perfect way, and really the fast way to protect themselves. I think that is what Americans think.
I would say it's tough to start looking at gun laws just from mass shootings. I think it's a good topic to start bringing it up, but it's never a good way to start making policy.
Many people are raising money for victims of this tragedy. You can help by donating to various GoFundMe pages on Facebook.
The Colorado State University Board of Governors unanimously decided to demolish Huge Stadium, the former home of the Colorado State University football team, earlier today. The proposal to deconstruct Huge Stadium was presented by Executive Vice Chancellor Amy Parsons and is projected to cost between $4 million to $6 million. These projected costs are expected to be reimbursed from the proceeds of the property sale or ground lease. At this time, the proposal estimates a 6 to 9 month time frame for completion. According to the project proposal prompt, deconstruction of Huge Stadium is preferred to eliminate further stadium costs and to prevent the vacant property from becoming a nuisance. There will be an open house October 18th to address community concerns. We're purposely taking our time with this process to make sure that we do a good job with community input, Executive Vice Chancellor Amy Parsons, who presented the proposal, said.
Following an anti-Semitic message written on the door of a dorm room here at Colorado State, Jewish students organized a demonstration by walking through campus and the LSE, showing Jewish symbols and signs to demonstrate the unity and pride. The demonstration was held earlier today as they walked through campus reciting Jewish hymns before ending at the sukkah that is put up every year near the LSE Plaza. An event held for CSU students was held earlier, and we had Aaliyah Gorelik to cover.
On Monday, the LSE held a talk called Dialogues Around Difference. The main focus was reframing perspectives of immigrants and refugees. Leaders of Colorado's immigrant and refugee centers spoke out about what you can do to get involved on college campuses.
I came to this talk today because I think that the immigrant and refugee community and undocumented students are all populations that live on the margins, and being a university that sort of fosters a land grant view and trying to be welcoming to all those in the community and the state of Colorado, that includes those populations as well.
The panel noted that many students suffer from anxiety and depression because of their legal status.
As we look at what happens around the world in general and our history of being, all of us are immigrants somewhere.
I'm participating in the Dialogues Around Difference conversation today in that capacity because I am here to speak about immigration and what's happening with refugees at the national level, but also how we can get involved at the local level.
CSU has approximately 189 students that are being affected by DACA.
So, refugees and immigrants, it's an issue of human dignity. Refugees and immigrants, it's an issue of shared prosperity, right? And so framing and reframing the way we talk about immigrants and refugees is talking about refugees and immigrants as contributors to our community.
Speaking out about refugees and immigrants is a point of resistance to shift the master narrative. Activism helps those who are undocumented have a voice.
At this week's ACSU meeting, President Josh Silva's impeachment moved one step forward with the ratification of an impeachment committee. The impeachment committee will investigate charges stated on the finalized petition, which includes all previous charges except the charge of Silva showing up intoxicated to a Senate session and the charge of harassment and discrimination, as that charge is currently being investigated by the Office of Equal Opportunity at the school. Silva approached the floor later that night and stated that the actions of the Senate body pained him, but he urged them to follow through with the process.
Today, outside Hawthorne Medical Center, ACSU and the Larimer County Food Bank teamed up to provide students with the food in a once-a-month event known as the Mobile Food Bank. Students lined up along University to get in on this deal and stock up their apartments with everything from Ritz crackers to mangoes. It was quite the effort, but ended up putting a smile on the face of many broke college students. For more information, visit the Mobile Food Bank Facebook page.
On Wednesday, students from the Fort Collins School District spent the entire day at CSU learning about math, science, and technology. 300 fourth grade students arrived at CSU on Wednesday morning, excited to participate in workshops and listen to guest speakers revolving math, science, and technology.
Science Technology Day is an opportunity for many committee members across campus, including El Centro, the Access Center, and the Natural Sciences, to bring fourth graders to campus and help them think about their future.
Math, Science, and Technology Day began in 1990, making this their 27th year.
Provide exposure to the students for the university. Students, these are Latinx students that had never entered in any space in the university. And then also, this is providing them with a career that they might not know anything about. And that was the STEM areas, the sciences, the mathematics, the engineering, medical fields that students might not know about.
Among the volunteers was peer academic leader Kylie Contreras, who says this event is needed.
This is something that a lot of people do. This is something that people who look like them can do. CSU is for everybody. If you have the want to do it, you can figure out a way. And I want them to be able to see that science in general is also something that's for everybody. And anyone who is interested in science can do science.
CSU will continue hosting this annual event. Visit El Centro Diversity Office on campus for more information.
That's all we have for news.
Stay tuned for weather, sports, and entertainment right after this.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Good evening, Rams. I'm your weather anchor, Michelangelo Bustamante. The next couple days are going to be very interesting weather-wise as a cold front moves in, so let's get right down to the forecast. Tonight, all across Colorado, it's going to be a pretty nice night. It's going to be one of the last few days before this cold front moves through. So in Fort Collins tonight, it's going to be 47 degrees, 51 in Denver, 50 in the Springs, 54 in Pueblo. Out on the Eastern Plains, much of the same. 47 up in Sterling, 49 in Lyman, 50 in Burlington, and 55 in Lamar. It's going to be the warmest place in the state. Up in the mountains, 33 up in Steamboat, 36 in Vail, 35 Gunnison, 37 Telluride, and 45 in Alamosa. And on the western slope, it's going to be 47 in Grand Junction. So tonight, a pretty nice night. Tomorrow, though, that cold front starts to make its way into Colorado, so we're going to see some showers, some scattered thunderstorms, some of those possibly turning severe, so keep your eyes out for that. So in Fort Collins, it's going to be 61 degrees, 60 in Denver, 63 in the Springs, 70 in Pueblo. Out in Lamar, it's going to be 74 degrees. So that cold front is actually going to sit right about in this area. 67 degrees in Burlington, 59 in Lyman, 59 in Sterlington as well. So it's going to be a little... the temperature is going to vary a lot throughout the Eastern Plains. Up in the mountains, 47 up in Steamboat, 49 in Vail, 55 Gunnison, 48 in Telluride, 66 in Alamosa, and 65 in Grand Junction. So as we take a look at the 7-day forecast here in Fort Collins, as you can see, tomorrow it's going to be stormy. Winds out of the east at 9 miles an hour with 62 degrees, or 62 is the high. On Saturday, though, it's going to calm down. It's going to be clear, sunny, but it's going to be windy. Winds out of the south-southwest at 10 miles an hour and a temperature of 72 degrees. On Sunday, it's going to be 67 degrees. Windy once again as that second cold front starts to move through. By Monday, though, we might see our first snow of the season. It's going to be 44 degrees. It's going to be pretty windy that day. Winds 15 miles out of the northeast. Snow is definitely not out of the question, so stay tuned for that as we start our week. But then after that, on Tuesday, it's going to be 46 degrees. It's going to start to dry out. By Wednesday, it's going to be 56, warming up. And by Thursday, we'll be seasonal again with 65 degrees and sunny. Now for the temperature for the big game against Utah State this weekend out in Logan, Utah. It's going to be very fall-like. So as you're tailgating, it's going to be 64 degrees and beautiful weather. At the start of the kickoff, it's going to be 66, so pleasant. In my opinion, that's perfect football weather. Then by the start of the fourth quarter, it's going to be very fall-like, 67 degrees. Overall, though, perfect day for football. Let's hope that our Rams can get it done. Coming up after this, we're going to have Tyler Patterson with sports. That's all I have for you tonight, folks. Good night.
Listen. I realized that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Welcome back. I'm Tyler Patterson, here to bring you all the latest in Colorado State athletics. Colorado State football traveled to the University of Hawaii on Saturday to take on the Rainbow Warriors in the first conference game of the season. And any questions about the legitimacy of CSU's offense or defense was answered in this game. The Rams dominated both sides of the ball from start to finish. Offensively, CSU got off to a quick start with 2 touchdown passes to Dietrich Clark for 36 and 38 yards in the first quarter, giving the Rams a 14-0 lead. The defense was stout throughout the game, allowing just 7 points in the first half and 21 total. CSU cruised back on home from Hawaii with a 51-52 victory. The offense was near flawless for the Rams in this contest, posting 610 total yards of offense, ranking as the 10th highest total in program history and the highest total under head coach Mike Bobo. Senior quarterback Nick Stevens and wide receiver Michael Gallup put up ridiculous numbers for the Rams in this game. Stevens completed 18 of 22 passes for 351 yards and 4 touchdowns. 8 of those completions from Stevens went to Gallup for a total of 212 yards and 1 touchdown. The video game performance from Stevens against Hawaii moved him up the all-time rankings on CSU's all-time passing list. Stevens passed Bradley Van Pelt and Anthony Hill to move into 6th place all-time with 6,333 yards. Stevens also moved into second all-time in passing touchdowns, just 11 shy of CSU's all-time passer Garrett Grayson, who tossed 64 over the course of his career. Michael Gallup's 212 receiving yards was 1 yard shy of his career high and the 7th highest single game total by a Ram. Gallup has had quite a few big games for CSU dating back to last season, and CSU will need every ounce of Gallup in Saturday's matchup at Utah State, who enters the contest as one of the nation's top defenses. Kickoff on Saturday is set for 2:30 p.m. Women's volleyball traveled to Air Force on Saturday to take on the Falcons, and CSU continued their dominating conference play with a 3-set sweep. The number 24 ranked Rams posted 15 blocks against the Falcons on Saturday, led by Sonia Chismich, Paulina Hogarth-Jensen, and Christy Hillier, who all posted 5 blocks apiece. Hogarth-Jensen and Chismich had the hot hand on offense too, recording 8 kills apiece. CSU has yet to lose a set in Mountain West action as they improved their overall record to 14-2 with a perfect 4-0 start to conference play. I was able to sit down with senior Sonia Chismich to talk about the team's trip this summer and how those experiences have helped shape the team's success so far this season.
So every 4 years we actually do this trip, so everyone gets to go to it one time, but Tom this year wanted to go to Croatia and I loved the idea. So I kind of helped them kind of pick some places that we could go to. That was really fun, and them getting to know my family and see my hometown. We played 2 games in Amsterdam, 2 in Italy, and 4 in Croatia. Actually 3 in Croatia. What we started doing is kind of having that open mindset where we started talking about as a team and just taking a deep breath and sticking to our game plan and not focusing on the other team but focusing on our own game, and I think that started helping us a lot, especially recently. We're still improving in a lot of areas, and that's what shows us that by November we can be at our peak as long as we start connecting, because I feel that was our biggest thing against Duke and even against TCU at the beginning of that match. Passing was good, hitting was bad, hitting was really good, passing was bad. So we were just not, we weren't able to connect all the pieces. We're doing that right now, so hopefully we're just going to continue.
CSU is currently taking on the Boise State Broncos tonight in Idaho. And for a live looking at that game, head to 90.5 KCSU FM. This game features Boise State and CSU, who are both undefeated in Mountain West Conference play. And the Rams will head to Utah State on Saturday to face the Utah State Aggies. CSU returns to Moby Arena Thursday, October 12th to take on San Jose State. Women's soccer suited up against Fresno State on Sunday and was stunned in another late-game finish. Kaylee Lordman got things started for the Rams in the 27th minute, scoring on a pass from teammate Janelle Stone. CSU headed into halftime with a 1-0 lead, which is when things started to take a turn. Fresno State's Myra Delgado tied the game up for the Bulldogs at 1-1 in the 62nd minute of the second half, and the game would remain tied up until the 75th minute when referees were forced to delay the action due to rain and lightning. When play resumed, the Rams were unable to maintain any momentum and allowed 2 Bulldog goals in the 78th and 79th minutes. Fresno State would go on to finish CSU off with a final score of 3-1. The Rams return to action this Friday at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. That's all the sports I have for tonight. For all the latest, head to thecollegian.com or CTV's Channel 11 YouTube. I'm Tyler Patterson. Up next is Ryan Crist with entertainment.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
What is up, Rams? My name is Ryan Crist, and we are back on another fantastic Thursday to bring you all the latest and greatest in entertainment news. So, let's get started. Bob's Burgers, the hilarious animated show this past weekend, announced that they are going to have a feature film. Yes, the 20th Century Films announced that this comedy will have its feature-length film in 2020. They had their 8th season this past week, which just started, and but it also has to work for, if you haven't seen this show, go watch it. It's the best. Like, this is my favorite show in the world. I mean, you have at least 3 years until this film comes out to see 8 seasons. Moving on to some local news. In local Fort Collins news, they will be opening, Panhandler's Pizza will be reopening this September at a new location. This Fort Collins favorite has been serving pizza for 37 years and closed on September 24th this year. The owner, John Olson, came out and said, "After 37 years, I believe this is the right time and opportunity for me to retire," until it was sold to former Panhandler's manager, Luann DeCourcy. Luann stated that she couldn't watch a place like this go down, saying, quote, "I know how much people love it. It is a piece of Fort Collins." She even salvaged the original brick and the original oven from the first location. This new Panhandler's Pizza will feature all of the same menu items and will be cooked the exact same way. This new location should be up and running early November, and I'm definitely going to be there when it opens. Fort Collins had a very musical birthday this past weekend, so let's check it out.
This past weekend, it was their 1-year anniversary, so students and professional musicians were invited to perform for their celebration. Jesse Elliott told me what he wanted this event to be about.
I wanted it to really feature and be more about the broader community of Fort Collins musicians and music businesses and nonprofits and music fans and people who just love music. So we wanted it to be about what other people are doing.
Like longtime student Emma Marie,
You are the world to many. You'll always be my angel.
along with students like Emma, they had professional performers like the Rickshaw Live, who even let me take a ride. And the Gorilla Fanfare Brass Band.
We asked a bunch of different folks to come in and activate different spaces, whether it's the parking lot or the attic or the long building, with all the stuff that they do.
Along with this great music, people could take inside tours, learn how to score a movie, and enjoy some great food.
To find out more about all the great events here at the Music District, go to www.themusicdistrict.com. Applebee's, that restaurant your friends suggest ironically when you can't decide on where to eat. Like, seriously, there was one 5 minutes away from my house, and I don't know about you, but I cannot remember the last time someone has said, "Hey, why not Applebee's?" Whether this is the case for you or not, maybe you're some Applebee's regular, this will all change this month with their new special for the entire month of October, known as the Dollarita. The Dollarita is a $1 margarita served all day at your local location. Patrick Kirk, Applebee's Vice President of Beverage Innovation, stated, "Our $1 margarita in October gives us a chance to show our guests a little love, giving them totally unbeatable offer as a gesture of our sincere appreciation for their patronage." So I'll be getting out 4 quarters and Google Maps because, let's be honest, who knew we even had an Applebee's, and getting myself over there before the deal ends. Hello, Carson. I am joined here with Carson Porterfield, and we're going to be talking about some great events in Fort Collins.
Heck yeah!
So, in case you guys all did not know, this Sunday there will be an event in the Old Town Square where people can yell, "I need it" from SpongeBob as loud as they can, starting at 2 p.m. So, Carson, what do you think of this event?
You know, I think it's really great. I think, you know, there's been a lot of events and stuff going on lately that it's very sectionalized, and it doesn't, you know, it's not very unifying. And I think this is something that can bring a lot of people together and, you know, unite us under one thing, which is SpongeBob. You know, it's great.
That is great. And of course, we're not the first people to do this. There's been a lot of other events out there like this. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, I know in Pennsylvania they did some like Naruto run into the hurricane when that happened, which probably not the most safest thing in the world, but that happened. They had a fire your gun into the hurricane. A lot of hurricane things, but you know, it's pulling people together.
It is, that's for sure. So this event, I did some research into it. It says that it starts at 2 p.m. and it doesn't really have an end time. So do you think we all just have to get there at 2, all scream unanimously as loud as we can, or is it kind of a throughout the day type of event? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll start strong and maybe kind of slow down a little bit, but I think it'll probably go as long as people want it to. Hopefully forever, you know? Yeah. You never know.
Kind of a final question. Will you be going this weekend?
I plan on doing it, and I'm going to scream until my voice gives out, or, you know, I faint from exhaustion.
That's great. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah,
Tyler.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, Rams, that is all the time I have for you tonight. Make sure to stay tuned for this Monday Night Sports Show, and have a great night.